Welcome to step 2 of app creation using Reading App Builder. And today we're going to look at how to encode audio for the app. Welcome to step 2 of app creation using Reading App Builder. This is step 2 out of 4 steps. The first step we completed last time was basic audio editing, and today we're going to look at how to encode audio for the app. So we'll go back into our folder again with the files that we created last time. There's the 4 files, verse 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the hymn that we are looking at. We bring up Audacity again, and we would like to import these 4 files, select the 4 of them, drag them into Audacity, and the 4 of them show up here. Now, because of the way Audacity works, all of them being at the same level like this means that they're at the same time on the timeline, which is not what we want. We actually want these files to be arranged differently, to be aligned, so one after the other. So we'll look at that in a minute. But first of all, one thing we're going to do with this audio is we're going to change the audio to make it sound better. Now, there's many ways to do that, but we'll try, for example, with let's look at verse 2, which has got Martin, the younger boy, his reading there in verse 2. We'll listen to the original.
To him shall endless prayer be made, and endless praises crown his head. His name like...
Okay, so that's Martin reading, and there's a number of things we could do with this. The first thing I would like to do, and actually I will select all of the files, because I'm going to do this to all of them. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, given that the boys are young and haven't gone through puberty yet, we can actually do something to make them sound older. And that's the one thing we can do, is to change the pitch. So if I would suggest going with the preset that's already there, which is using high quality stretching, which takes a little bit longer. And then depending on your speaker, if your speaker is a woman or a child, it's easy to bring the voice down in pitch. Now, if you go too far, you'll make it end up sounding really weird. So I'm just going to start with 15%, which is actually quite a lot, quite a big percentage change. I'm going to apply that, and what it's doing right now is applying that pitch change to all 4 files at once, because I highlighted them all by pushing Control A. Now I'm going to let's listen to that first one, just Martin reading.
To him shall endless prayer be made, and endless praises crown his head.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great, but it's it does make him sound like a different person. No one would listen to that and say, "Oh, that's Martin." Try listen to Josh's one.
Jesus shall reign, where over the earth, where over the sun, does his successive journeys run.
Yeah, so it still sounds human. Sounds like it could be a different person. Just putting that little pitch change on the audio of your reader can do a lot. Go a long way to protecting the identity of the person who's reading. It's a very good practice. I'm going to do the same thing again. Highlight them all by pushing Control A, and this time we're going to try a different effect, the tempo. And I'm going to say, I think their reading was a little bit slow, so we're going to do a 20% faster, make their reading 20% faster, which will also change the cadence, change the style of their speech, which will make it sound like, again, less and less like the original reader. So here's Martin's one from verse 2.
To him shall endless prayer be made, and endless praises crown his head. His name like sweet perfume shall rise with every morning sacrifice.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me. And Josh's one, verse 1.
Jesus shall reign, where over the earth, where over the sun, does his successive journeys run. His kingdom spread from shore to shore, till moon shall wax and wane no more.
So basically that sounds a wee bit fast to me, because Josh was reading faster than Martin. Verse 1 was much faster than verse 2. So when you go to the tools and you choose the speed correction, you want to check it and then go back, push undo, Control Z, undo if you think that that's too fast. But for the purposes of demonstration today, this will be fine. So now I have four verses, and they're all together here. Now I'd like to make them into one verse, one file. Looks like the effects have also created little extras at the end of the shorter verses, so just delete them. But the first thing I want to do is align them end to end. So Control A to select them all. Go up to Tracks, choose Align Tracks end to end. That will put them one after the other. So now when I export this entire file, it will be the entire, all the four verses of the hymn, and it'll be all together. So I want to have one version like that. So I will highlight everything, go File, Export Audio, Control-Shift-E. And this time, I don't want to export it as a WAV file because we're going to export the audio that's able to be encoded and used in the app. So instead of WAV, you want to click on that and choose MP3. Now, if you don't have the option of MP3 there, the reason is because you haven't installed the correct codecs for Audacity. And that might have happened if you installed the correct codecs to bring in, to be able to bring in the M4A files. It might have it might have installed the correct codec for the MP3s. The correct codec for MP3 is called LAME, and the best way to get it, I would say, is to, again, Google for Audacity MP3, and you should be able to find it. So if we bring up Google again, I'm going to type Audacity MP3, and there we go. Frequently asked questions installing the LAME MP3 encoder. Now the reason Audacity doesn't come with the MP3 encoder installed at the beginning is because of some proprietary software issue. Audacity, of course, being free software. But I've installed the MP3 encoder, so I can use this. Now, when we're going to create these files, remember there's 4 of them there. I'm going to create one file first of all, and it's going to be the entire thing as an MP3. And obviously you want to save it in a different folder than you've been saving your WAV files. So MP3s, or actually what I might call it is app audio. And I'm going to save the first one as one file by itself. So that's the entire hymn on one page, basically. You're going to choose the bit rate. This is very important here. Sample rate 48,000 is fine. That's high quality. The bit rate mode has to be set to constant because you don't want it going above or below 96 kilobytes per second. So choose 96. That will make the MP3 small enough so that you can fit it on the app. And in this case, I want to export the entire project as an MP3 file. So export, there we go, that's done. The next thing I want to do in this case, because I would like to have one version of the hymn where it's split into 2 pages. So we're going to have verse 1 and 2 on one page, and then verse 3 and 4 on another page. And to do that, I will select just these 2. To here, these two files up to this part over here, and I will export that as an audio as well. Again, MP3. This time it's 1 and 2. MP3 constant and just the current selection. Once I've done those 2, I'm going to import. I'm going to also export tracks 3 and 4. So I will select these 2, starting from here.
People and realms of every type.
Starting from there to the end. I'm going to actually move them back to the beginning of this file because I want them to start from the beginning, not to start from halfway through. So I can export those as audio as well. Just the current selection, and this is page 2. There we go. And the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to move everything back to be at the beginning, and I'm going to export them as individual files, Control-Shift-E, multiple files using the track name, that's fine, and export them like that, and then I will be able to use them in the app as well. So I've just exported from Audacity these new MP3s. I've got one where it's the whole thing. I've got one where it's verses 1 and 2, and then I should have one where it's verses 3 and 4. Maybe I didn't name them correctly, so backwards. Here we go. Verse 3 and 4 obviously wasn't named correctly. Control-Shift-E. That's why 3 and 4. Just the current selection. Export. Here we go. So now I should have all the files I need, which is here's verse 1, here's verse 1 and 2 together, here's verse 2, verse 3 and 4, and there's the entire thing. So now I have what we've done is we've changed the audio, we have changed the pitch, we've changed the tempo, and we've exported it as MP3s. Now these MP3 files, by the way, they are much smaller than the WAV files. So for example, the WAV file that we had with verse 1 was 2.17 megabytes. The MP3 of verse 1 is 117 kilobytes, which is much smaller. So that's the main reason for doing that. So these new files are ready to go onto the app. So the next thing we'll look at in the next video will be compiling a book, how to compile a book. So I look forward to seeing you then, and we'll continue on with this instruction.